David Teague inspires an entire football club. The Clutch Crows claim a crucial victory, and we put a few Premiership Tigers under the microscope. Kane Corns, we must start the round so far at Marvel Stadium today. The Blues trail by 37 points, but they prevail to double their win count under their new coach.
Yeah, it was brilliant to see, and in particular 32,000 fans there rocking up after the week that they've had. So in the end, the decision was justified because a whole new energy around the footy club. But early on, it was almost the same old Carlton. Nothing much had changed. Their ball use was diabolical early, just the 2 points in the first quarter. And Brisbane, as you said, all over them. So this is the maturity that I liked, that they were able to turn their fortunes around when it looked as though it was just going to be another poor performance from Carlton. But this man here, we're going to talk about him, just the best individual game from anyone so far this year, 38 disposals. And the 4 goals was just clearly the match winner on the ground tonight. And just great scenes there with Kane Little and the president, Mark Gudichet, and the players as well. So, yeah, it was a great performance. Good to see.
We had the Blues clangers package ready to go at half-time. David Teague spoke about how impressive he was. They composed themselves out on the ground and did it themselves without the runner. Then this man put the Superman cape on after half-time. Our Saturday star, Patrick Cripps, finished with 38 disposals and 4 goals.
Hard to know, to describe the performance other than that it was just a complete match-winning, dominant display. He looked hungry. It's been a lean 3 weeks for him. A couple of taggers in Clark, the second game from Essendon, got a hold of him. De Boer's gotten a hold of him. He was given a lot more freedom from Brisbane today, which is inexcusable for them. We'll talk about Brisbane Lions in a moment. But this is what I loved. I haven't quite seen this for a couple of weeks. The breakaway speed, the power, and the ability to finish, and then the emotion after it was just a great captain's game. And right now he's the best midfielder in the competition, easily.
He was solid in the first half, but Lachie Neale was everywhere. The Blues put Ed Curnow to him after half-time. Have a look at these numbers delivered after the main break. Patrick Cripps exploded. Lachie Neale held to just 6 disposals.
Now, have a look at that from Neale. He ended up with 31, but that doesn't tell the story because 6 in the second half. Great job from Curnow, who hasn't played that role at all this year. And that's probably a tick for David Teague as well, to be able to act at half-time and think, well, this guy's getting out of control. He's had 25. Let's do something about it and put someone on him. I'm not sure you would have got that reaction from Brendan Bolton. So thought that was proactive coaching, outstanding from Curnow to be able to carry it out, and a big reason as to why Carlton won.
You sat here 7 days ago and said the Lions can win the flag. Surely you're regretting that now. They've got so many inconsistent guys. Hipwood didn't come to play today. Charlie Cameron and Cameron Rayner again, another quiet performance.
I did say that, and I don't back away from it at all because I said I hope Brisbane believe they can win it. They are capable of winning it. They're 5th on the ladder going into this game against a side that has won 1 game for the year, 3 games in a year and a half. They're 37 points up and they deliver that. So this is a side that's completely got ahead of themselves in this game, thinking it's just going to play out and we're going to run away, we're going to have another easy win, we're going to have a bye, and then it's all going to be good. We're going to be pushing top 4 at the end of the year. So footy comes back to get you. And that was my point last week. You need to believe, you need to work through 23 weeks, and you have a great opportunity. Richmond drop off now. There's not that many good teams in the competition. The opportunity was there for Brisbane, and they completely let it slip. I just want to talk about Cam Rayner as well. Probably time that he has to go back.
Yep.
I think that the coach...
7 disposals today.
Yeah, I think he's been very patient with him, and he's backed him in, and he's shown him some faith. He knows the talent that he's got, but he's averaging 9 disposals for the year. He's not working hard enough. He's not having the impact that he needs to, particularly away from home as well. So you've got to make a statement there on the back of that performance that someone's got to pay the price at selection.
He could go back to the NEAFL and dominate and then get his confidence back up. So let's see whether that happens next week. To the Adelaide Oval, the Crows have done it back-to-back weeks. 5-goal last quarter last week, 6-goal last quarter this week. And they got it done in front of the big sticks.
Yeah, it was a clutch performance, this one. Just the marks inside 50 late from some of their key players. I want to speak about this defending here from the Giants. There's 3 Giants players who can see Rory Sloane. They don't go to him. This from Tex. I haven't seen this for a while, for 3 or 4 weeks from Taylor Walker. Not his strength, but he did that, went back and slotted it. This one here from Greenwood into the side late as the late replacement, really late for Tom Lynch, who pinged a calf in the warm-up. And then once again, Sloane. You can't say enough about Rory Sloane because on Monday, Ben Hart, the assistant coach, said he tore his hammy and he was 50-50 to play.
Yeah.
Not only did he play, he started, and then Eddie Betts did what Eddie Betts has done for the last 15 years and sealed it. So just a great performance from Adelaide. When you look at the numbers in the last quarter, +9 in clearances, +8 in contested possessions, that's where it was won. And their big players, Sloane, Walker, Betts, came to play late.
They're 5th now. Do we see Gibbs again anytime soon?
Well, I was really critical of that decision, just in particular with the midfield that the Giants have and the job that he did on Oliver the week before. Now, you look at Taranto, he's had 35 disposals at three-quarter time. I thought, well, Gibbs could have done that job, but in the end, they're justified. Don Pike and his selection committee completely justified. And the other one as well, which you've probably got to pay credit to them, is sticking with Riley O'Brien as well over Sam Jacobs, who's back from injury. But O'Brien, sensational against Mumford tonight. He had 17 disposals, 4 clearances in the last quarter alone and 29 hit-outs. So they probably stick with him as well, and Gibbs probably has to stay in the sample for a couple of weeks.
And Tom Lynch pinned his hammy in the warm-up 10 minutes before the game. Hugh Greenwood came in as the late inclusion. Now, the score review, we've seen the AFL admit to 2 errors in the past 2 weeks. There was an intriguing moment in the second quarter tonight. The Giants having a shot on goal. The umpire called this a behind in the moment. We didn't see it go to the score review. I just think if you've got the technology, which we see with AFL Edge, they've put the mics in the goalposts now. Why we didn't go upstairs? Clearly they're backing the goal umpiring, and that's great. But they've got this technology in. We see this after the fact. This came in following 20 minutes after we see this. But we have to query why. They've got the technology, why they didn't go upstairs after the past fortnight they've had. Yeah,
I'm a little bit sick of talking about the score review. It's not working. And you're right, the camera angle, I thought it was a goal, but the goal umpire got it right. So in the end, the correct decision was made, thank goodness, because I couldn't handle another one that we'll be talking about tonight.
All right, up to the Gold Coast, the Suns. They look absolutely spent. Their 8th loss in a row now tonight against North Melbourne. And how about some of the space they afforded the Roos?
This is alarming vision if you just watch how easy this is. This is early pre-season when you're playing 16 on 14 type of drills at training and getting your ball movement going. Just the lack of pressure here coming from the Suns. And look, we've paid credit to them for the way that they've started the year and how competitive they've been. But where's the pressure coming at the ball carrier? That's modern footy. Pollock's just allowed to waltz inside 50 and kick a goal under no pressure. He kicks that 10 times out of 10, but yeah, there's some real concerns now for how badly...
How big are these concerns? Because this club's lost 8 in a row now. They did it last year. They lost 10 in a row after a promising start.
We didn't expect anything, though, coming in. I didn't expect them to be... I expected this sort of stuff. So it's an issue for them. They're a young side. They're tired. The bye can't come quick enough for them, but they'll finish last now. You think Carlton get off the bottom of the ladder. Gold Coast finish last, and they try and rebuild what's going to be a long process for them.
There was a stage in the second and third quarters tonight. The Roos had 26 inside 50s for 1 goal in that whole period. That's just how easy they were doing it. They just couldn't put the pressure on the scoreboard. A nasty injury in the first term to one of their star-on bowlers in Sean Higgins. He said it looks like a high-grade AC sprain. This doesn't look good after what he said post-game.
Yeah, these really nasty injuries, and they're the injuries that can you can play with them after 6 or so weeks, depending on whether he has surgery, but they're sore for sort of 12 months. You'll be able to put some local anaesthetic in it, but look, he's their most damaging midfielder. He's their prime one through there and the one they can't afford to lose, so it's unfortunate.
Another damaging midfielder at the Suns is Jack Martin. He was put on report for this bump. What do we make of this? He's gone and got the footy, and he's still been cited by the umpire.
That's it there up against Zeeble. You can't suspend him for that. He's gone to the footy first. He's got his hands on the ball. He's turned his body like you're taught from the time when you're 6, 7 years of age. And that's the one there. I liken it to Hearn, who got off because he was first to the ball. He turned his body to protect himself. Unfortunately, sometimes accidents happen in our game, so nothing to see. No fine, no suspension, play on for Jack Martin.
All right, back to Marvel Stadium. Plenty of excited Blues fans watching at the ground today, but there was mixed reaction on the couch at home. Mel Haase, this unfolded on social media.
Yeah, it did. The roof was open again today at Marvel Stadium, and it frustrated a lot of people. And one of those people was Scott Pendlebury. He took to Twitter saying, we talk a lot about what's good for the fans and viewers. I tell you one thing that no one enjoys, the bloody roof open. It's a shambles. Now, he got a lot of support from punters and players alike. Tom Rockcliffe was one of them that also chimed in. But one player who didn't mind the roof being open, in fact he couldn't care less about us even talking about it, was Zach Toohey. He said, can someone explain to me why people care so much about the roof at Marvel? Jesus wept, does it really matter? Boys, does it matter? Do we want the roof open or closed? Where are you at?
I had no issue playing with it open as a player. I actually enjoyed it. I liked playing in the day when there's actually sunlight and didn't feel like a night game. So I agree with Zach that we overreact far too much on what is a very small issue.
I reckon at the grounds, it's great watching as a fan, but there's more people watching on telly, so I think shut it, because you've got to cater to the bigger audience on TV. Now, that game, the Lions wore a jumper tribute for the Hall of Fame tonight, but it didn't end there.
No, it didn't. Josie Fielding, their media manager, she shared this one. Have a look at this. Kevin Murray, obviously Fitzroy legend. These are the kicks he was wearing to the game. I love it. Does any former player love their club more than Kevin Murray does? He loves them.
Hope you had the Brownlow on.
Sorry?
Hope you had the Brownlow on.
He's always got the Brownlow on, that's what I was going to say. Hey, before I let you guys go, Kane, a few Port players came back through the sandful today. Charlie Dixon was one of them. His first game in almost 10 months, he kicked 5 goals. He was very impressive. The other man that returned was Ollie Wines. He had 32 touches and a stack of tackles as well. Kane, when will we see them back in the AFL side, do you think?
Yeah, Wines will come straight back in next week. They take on Fremantle in Perth. I reckon they'll give Dixon one more.
Yep.
But looking at Hartlett coming back as well, so some big injury returns from Port Adelaide. They've been waiting for those 3 to come back.
Well, they played Geelong after the Cats bye. The Cats have got a stranglehold on the competition now with a 2-game buffer. They're doing it and getting their scores from different areas of the ground. How about this, the way they're losing the inside 50 count but getting it done on the scoreboard?
Yeah,
even back to Friday night, lose the inside 50s and get it done by 67 points.
6th time this year they've lost the inside 50 count or even and won. So once again, you wouldn't have thought that. They dominated, win by 10 plus goals and lose it by 3. So they're just defending so well when it does go in there. You can't penetrate their defence, and then they've got the perfect balance. They're averaging 99 points for this year and only conceding 65, which is the perfect premiership balance when you look at the history of the game. They're going beautifully.
They've got such a luxury that Joel Selwood's now been moved onto a wing. Reece Stanley's having a career best season, and it's really starting in the middle of the ground. They did it last week against the Swans and again on Friday night.
I reckon this is an area they really addressed in the off-season, because despite the names they had in there last year with Seld and Dangerfield and Ablett, who played in the midfield, they were one of the poorer stoppage sides, or certainly scoring from stoppage in the competition last year. Well, this year it's completely flipped. So in the last 2 weeks, the last fortnight, they've kicked 20 goals from stoppage. And once again on Friday night, they kicked 5 centre bounce goals. Now, these are just a couple of them that we're showing. Now, I reckon Richmond, if they had their time again, I think it's almost arrogant to put Josh Cade in the centre bounce as your second ruckman. I know it worked for them in part to win a premiership, but they must just laugh, Geelong players, when they saw Josh Cade as the ruckman. But they walked out of here. Dangerfield got going. His performance was astronomical. But once again, even when they don't win first possession, they're able to put enough pressure on the opposition, turn it over and go inside 50 and let their forwards go to work, who clearly Tom Hawkins is one of the more damaging players in the competition. Rowan's had his moments, and that man, Gary Ablett, is on fire. So it's all starting at the source for me, for Geelong, and why they've been so successful this year.
16 goals to 3 after quarter time the Cats kicked. The Tigers had it all on their own terms to the first break. But how about some of these numbers for the kicking? Their surge game couldn't get going, and when they're breaking down with ball in hand, it doesn't bode well. Yeah,
we've spoken a lot about the Richmond players that are lesser lights have come in to cover the injuries, but these are the big names, and this is how they use the ball. And most of them are midfielders on Friday night. Look at that. You can't win when you kick the ball at 52%, and the culprits there, Caddy, 25, he played on ball. Cochin as well, won enough of it and was okay in the contest, but not damaging at all with the ball. Prestia had 30 disposals, but kicked it away. Butler, 33%. Even their best kick, probably when he's going, is Martin. He had a poor night. Edwards is usually a beautiful ball user, 44% by foot, and Castagna also a culprit as well. So you just can't compete with that. All of Geelong's prime midfielders kicked it above 60%.
Down to 6 on the table now at Richmond Footy Club. I'm already looking forward to this Thursday night game against Adelaide next week. It's going to be massive.
It is going to be massive, and they've got a pretty good history, these two, dating back to pre-grand final and what went on there. But yeah, look, you favour Adelaide, don't you?
Yep.
At home, even though it's going to be a short break for them, and they've been to Darwin last week, so the physical toll will play a part. But Richmond, there's a tipping point, and they've hit it with injuries, and they just can't compete with the better sides, unfortunately.
We can catch all of that game on KO. KO lets you instantly stream over 50 sports, including every match of every round of the Toyota AFL Premiership season. You can stream Sunday's match between Sydney and West Coast at the SCG, plus catch all the action from Monday at the MCG with Collingwood against Melbourne. Not only that, if you miss your team in action this weekend, you can watch the match on demand when it suits you. And if you're short on time, KO's Key Moments feature shows you where the best bits are, so you can watch the highlights when you want. Also, the Cricket World Cup is fantastic on KO, so you can get involved. KO Sports, search that now to start your 14-day free trial now.
You've got the biggest one, though, the NBA Finals today.
Yes.
Raptors getting it done again. That was all on KO, which I watched on my phone when I was at work. You can have the split screen, as we said last week, so I do, a little bit.
All right. Elliot Yeo's not going to work tomorrow. Rest of the round now. He's out of the Eagles side against Sydney. That's a big loss.
Sydney have been poor at home for the last couple of years, so you'd think West Coast would have enough firepower fail to get it done, but who knows? And then the big one, what a game this has become. Freeze MND or fight MND at the G. Can't wait for it to be turned blue for what is almost one of the best causes in footy now.
It's great. We look back to Marvel Stadium now for our one more thing today. You would have been like one of these old wily veterans getting stuck into the young guys. Kade Simpson didn't want a bar of Reece Matheson.
How good is this from Kade Simpson? You have to watch him. He's just got the shotgun celebration. So this is for Matheson. We know that he went with the shotgun a couple of times throughout his career as his goal celebration. Kade just reminding him of it, and it works. So the movie Basketball, when you've actually got a psych out and you can put someone off and that gets recorded as a stat, well, great psych out from Kade Simpson there as we get the close-up vision of the shotgun. And 1 to Simpson, none to Matheson.
How long is it going to be until we see people start doing that to Xavier Dersma on the mark?
No. This is a great celebration. He's unflappable. You can't get inside this young kid's head.
All right.
He's
we'll
unflappable.
See. Thanks for that, Kane. Oh, no. Not again. Thanks, Mel Horsey.
Oh, God.
Can't wait for Queen's birthday at the MCG. We'll see you same time, same place here on The Round So Far next week. No.